Good morning, everyone. Good morning. We'd like to welcome you all to the Mesa City Council study session for the morning of February the 6th. We are here, but we are excusing council members Luna and Whitaker, who are out of town. The first item on our agenda for this meeting is to review the agenda items for our meeting on Monday, February the 10th. So, council, please refer to that document. Currently, there is nothing off of the consent agenda for Monday. But does anyone have any questions or need any presentations or additional information on anything you see from Monday's agenda? Mr. Thompson.
Just on item 7, 7A in the council report, I just want to make sure in the second paragraph it says this annexation was initiated by the applicant for the owners, and the first person there, the Glenda Stechnej, has told me that she has never consented to the annexation, has not signed on to the annexation, and has never asked to be an applicant for the annexation. So need to amend this paragraph to remove her name from this document.
Councilman, do you think it includes the whole
Stechny, Glenda, that whole group right there? You think that's what that includes?
Say
You
that
see what I'm
again?
talking about between the commas?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Any other questions concerning an item that's on Monday's agenda? I know there's a few. I think we were still in the process of maybe looking at some of the liquor license petitions. There might be some
There
questions.
may be an
regarding-
update on Monday. We're still,
Okay.
we're following up on some possible police engagement, but we will we can't, I don't want to say anything here without having confirmation.
Right.
So we're hopeful to have that by Monday.
Okay, thank you. All right. Well, we'll meet again Monday. If there's questions for anything that's on the consent agenda, we can get more information or move it off the consent. The next item on our agenda for this meeting is to hear a presentation from RECOM. We all aspire to join RECOM at some point. Frank, welcome. This is the retired employees of the city of Mesa. Mr. Meisner was the planning director for years, back when I was on our council several years ago, a stalwart in our community. Frank's fingerprints on a lot of the really good things that are built and a part of our daily lives now. So Frank, thanks for your great career at the city of Mesa.
Well, thank you, Mayor, for your kind words. Yeah, it's to the point where I'm seeing things I was involved with 2 generations now are being torn down and redeveloped, so it's been a while.
Right.
But it's a real pleasure to be here this morning. It was weird, my car was on automatic pilot this morning. You know, I didn't have to steer coming down here.
Yeah.
It's a real honor to be here representing RECOM, the retired employees for the city of Mesa. I'm following in the footsteps of 4 previous presidents, and you'll recognize some of these names: Fred Conway from the police department, Barb Sepprich from library, John Gendron from planning, and most recently, Kathy Barrett Costello, who served for 10 years as our president of the board of directors and did a great job for RECOM. In practicing for today's presentation, I gave some thought to how many times I've been in this building. And 15 years as planning director with committee meetings and board of adjustment and design review and council study session, and then 6 years on planning and zoning board, I figured roughly 1,200 meetings in this room. So a few changes, different pictures on the wall, but it's good to be back here again. Before I start the presentation, I don't know if this is a warning or not, and I don't want to say your staff is restless, but I've been handing out a lot of brochures this morning, you know, for your employees here interested in RECOM. So, but we'll welcome
these,
them.
right? Yeah.
And I've given the council members presentations as well, and I should mention that we've had former city manager and the late Charles Luster was a longtime member. Former city manager Mike Hutchinson is an active member of RECOM. Former Vice Mayor Wayne Pomeroy was a longtime member, and former Mayor Keno Hawker is still a member, although we have to dun him for his dues every once in a while. So if you know Keno, you know that's true.
Yeah. It's the truth. Yeah, no one's challenging you on that, Frank. That's right.
That's true. That's true.
I don't think it gets Channel 11 anymore either, so we can say whatever we want to right now.
RECOM has been around for almost 20 years. We were formed in 2001. We are a registered 501c4 Arizona nonprofit corporation. We're what I consider to be a formal organization. We have a board of directors with insurance. We have annual elections. We file tax returns. We have bylaws, policies, and procedures. So we are a formal organization. And see, we didn't have to do this when I was. Oh, uh-oh. Well, I skipped over one. Okay, thank you. Purpose of RECOM, we provide information to our members, we educate our members, and we advocate on our general membership. We do not advocate for individual members when it comes to health care or other issues due to privacy concerns. And we do not engage in any political activity. It's important to note that. This illustrious group is our board of directors. You'll recognize some of them, and if I could ask them to stand in the audience to make sure they get on Channel 11. This is our current board, and you can see that these folks represent a wide range of experience with the city, a lot of years of service with the city. I'd like to especially recognize Debbie Euclid, who put together this PowerPoint presentation, did a nice job on this. The board averages 24 years of service. We have other volunteers who help us out. We have people who serve on city committees, do our newsletter, photograph things, take minutes. So we have a very participatory membership. You can see that we have almost 800 members in RECOM, so it's a strong organization. About almost half live in Mesa itself. About 80% live in the Valley. But we do have a number of people who live out of state. And although we have some long-term older members, we have a lot of people who are not yet that far out of the working age group. So how do we inform, educate, and advocate? We have monthly membership meetings. Some of our recent meetings, the last 3 or 4 meetings, for example, we had presentations on desert gardening. We had a presentation on the Arizona Brain Food Program, which I think the mayor is familiar with, a local organization that supports low-income children, and a great organization. And we had a presentation on the Sky Harbor Navigators Program, those helpful people in the purple blazers. So we try to have speakers on a monthly basis that will educate, sometimes entertain, and generally engage our membership. We meet right over here at Fire Station 201, courtesy of the fire department. We have an active Facebook page. We have a monthly newsletter, the RECOM Roundup. We do email blast on current events to keep people informed. And we have a major spring event and fall benefits meeting that I'll describe in just a minute. All this for $15 a month. A year, yeah. John keeps wanting to raise the dues, but we don't want to raise them. We don't want to raise them that much. So $15 a year, which is a real bargain for what you get. I mentioned the fall benefits meeting. If there's anything that retirees like better than showing pictures of grandchildren, it's talking about benefits. So this is always a big meeting in the fall. We typically invite speakers in from the state retirement system, from the public safety retirement system, from Social Security, and the city benefits office to talk about any changes in the benefit program, whether it's an increased rate or better coverage or ongoing issues. We're especially grateful for Jan Ashley from the Employee Benefits Office, who is a great speaker, a great representative for the city, and is always very helpful to us retirees. In the spring event, we like to have an event that's a little bit lighter, if you will. We've had speakers such as Dave Muncie, the retired Channel 10 weatherman, Jana Boomersbach, Marshall Trimble, Dolan Ellis. Our March event is coming up on March 18th. We're having a travel theme, and we'll have representatives from Arizona Office of Tourism, AAA Arizona, and our featured speaker is a gentleman named Howard Seftel, who is the retired restaurant critic from the Arizona Republic. We're holding this over at the Holiday Inn at US 60 and the Superstition Freeway. So if you get your membership form filled out quickly, you'll be able to attend that and enjoy a wonderful buffet lunch. We like to promote city events. We're all city employees and we're active in the community. We have a lot of volunteers in the community. So we participate in the pre-retirement seminar for your employees. We'll be there next month. We help our employees or our members with the open enrollment process in the fall. We attend the city's wellness fair over here at the convention center. We recently promoted the City of Mesa smoking cessation program. And we like to encourage our members to volunteer in the community. We have recently had articles in our newsletter about the Mesa Arts Center, the MLK Parade, the homeless count, and other activities to encourage our members to not only be aware of what's going on in the community, but to volunteer their time. It's been a great honor to not only just be a member of RECOM, but to serve as president. Our employees offer a lot to the city. If we take that average of 24 years of service for almost 800 members, we're talking about almost 19,000 years of service to the city of Mesa from our members. Not all of them live in the community, not all of them are capable of volunteering, but we certainly encourage that. We're not here to ask for money. We're here to let you know what's going on. In fact, Mayor, I have a deal with you. We will not ask for money if you don't ask us for money. So if that sounds fair, we would just like to continue our excellent relationship with the City of Mesa. The city staff has been very helpful, whether it's inviting us to the pre-retirement seminar, helping us set up with this, attending our meetings to explain benefits programs. Great relationship with the city. We want to continue that in the future, and we just wanted to make you, the City Council of Mesa, aware of us as an organization, and to let you know that we're a viable activity here in the community. So thank you, Mayor, for the time, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Frank. Council, any questions for these folks? I'll just say again, it's fun to see the faces
Yes.
of this. These are very familiar faces, folks who have been dedicated public service. You were drawn to serving in the city of Mesa because of your compassion and your desire to be engaged in useful ways in our community. So that certainly hasn't changed since retirement. So thank you for your continued service in all the volunteer efforts and great things that you continue to do in our community. Thanks. And City of Mesa does a lot of great things, but one of the things we do is we're an employer, and we have a duty to our employees to be a good employer, and also to our retirees. So we're not going to ask you for money, but we're going to continue to support you, and we appreciate the support you're giving our community.
Very good. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
You bet. Next item on our agenda for this meeting is to acknowledge receipt of board and committee minutes. Is there a motion to that effect? Thank you, Mr. Freeman and Mr. Thompson. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. This will be a relatively short meeting, I think. It's because our next item is to hear reports on meetings and conferences attended. Council, anything you'd like to share with us? Mr. Thompson.
Other than the state of the city, good job, Mayor, on that. February 11th is pitchers and catchers start showing up for the A's and the Cubs spring training. That's the reason I'm wearing my Cubs spring training shirt today, in anticipation of spring training baseball starting, so can't wait.
Amen to that. Anything else, Council? I'll thank you for bringing up the state of the city. I just want to express my appreciation to everyone for your help and support, attendance to that event, particularly the great folks at Channel 11. I think the star of that show was the production, the video screen and the great videos. So thank you to everyone who really made that possible, made it a good presentation. If you missed the State of the City, it's available online. I thought it's a good summary of a lot of the great things that are going on in our community. So if you're curious to kind of get an update, you can go to the Facebook page or to Channel 11 online and view the State of the City. I know there's a few other things on the agenda, I'm sorry, Council. Anything else you like to share from what you've been doing this week? Jen.
I'll share a couple of things. Last week I attended the MAG, Maricopa Association of Governments, a meeting on the community, and the discussion was around homelessness. I know it's a big subject in a variety of departments and ways around the city and around our. And one of my takeaways on that was that in consolidating the causes of homelessness, when you consolidate in whether it's employment, cost of housing, and these other things, like the total is like 70-some%, I don't have it with me right now, is an economic reason. So that was interesting, and there's some other great takeaways that I've shared with the housing department. And Saturday was the Mesa Historical Home Tour. It was well attended, it was a beautiful day, and thank you to the Mesa Historical Museum Board and employees that put that on. It was lots of fun, and we look forward to next year too.
Thank you for making your property available for the tour. Mine was as well, and that is a lot of fun. So if you've missed the home tour, I'd encourage people to participate in future years. Anything else to share? Mr. Freeman?
Thank you, Mayor. You know, your State of the City address, I just marveled the way you could keep Siri and Alexa straight through the whole thing, because I'd be confused half the time. But it was a great attendance. There was a lot of people there, and I know it was talked about. Last night I attended the Central District Quarterly Community Meeting here at the Central Police Station. And so it's for neighborhood groups to come and listen, and the discussion was from one of the gang detectives talking about gangs in Mesa. And I was just surprised at the number of gangs that are here, but that the amount of work that's being done by our gang detectives in curbing that violence. And one of the main things is graffiti. So if anyone sees graffiti, it's important to take a photo, address it, do our Mesa Now app, and send it in, because that's critical for their enforcement and helps them identify what gangs are doing. But the neighborhood was, there was probably about 20 individuals there from different parts of Mesa, all the way from Signal Butte and Ellsworth area to Dobson Ranch and here in North Mesa and downtown area. So it was well attended. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And you know, the Mesa, if you missed State of the City, one of the things we talked about was the update to the Mesa Now app. So I hope people are utilizing that. And as Mr. Freeman indicated, one of the great features is the CityLink issue, where you can just snap a photo and it geolocates. Later that day, folks will be out to remedy graffiti or code compliance issues. So thanks for bringing that up. Jen?
I just wanted to add on for State of the City that the higher education initiative of the Promise program has been well received in our community. Since the State of the City program that we had, I've had so many people come up forward to me and talk about how they can participate, what they can do, how it's important to them. So I look forward to working on that and with the entire community achieve our goal of 60% of a 2-year of secondary education by 2030. Thank you.
Thanks again to you, and thank you for chairing the higher education attainment panel that we've had for the last year. And that was an exciting part of that recommendation, but there's other parts in there that we heard about a week ago in this meeting, and I think we're all anxious to be engaged in that. Thank you again for doing that. Anything else you'd like to share with this council? Mr. Brady, I know we've got some important things on the horizon. What are we looking at as far as our schedule?
Well, just for announcements purposes, this Saturday, February 8th, beginning at 4 a.m., will be the Sprouts Mesa Marathon event. It'll be throughout Mesa, so roads should be open by 1:30 p.m. So I know that disrupts a lot of our community, so we want to make sure that they are aware that that's happening this weekend, and our commitment is to get the streets open as soon as we can. And then the next council meeting will be Monday, February 10th. Vice Chairman Freeman, do you want to talk about Monday's custard with a cop? Do you want me to do it?
Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So Monday, February 10th, from 2:30 to 3:30 is custard with a cop in the Vice Mayor. And this will be taking place at Andy's Frozen Custard, which is at 1353 East McKellips. So invite the community in that area to join the Vice Mayor and our police officers for a cup of custard.
Well, thank you for saying that, because we went to Andy's. They had a promotional deal. It was $2 off for Sundays last week, and it was awesome. So there were a lot of people there. So I'm hoping that others will take advantage of it. Yeah. Good Sundays. Thanks.
Mr. Thompson?
following on that too, in District 6 on Tuesday, the 11th, at 8 a.m. At the Panera on Signal Butte, we're having pastries with the police. So custard with a cop on Monday, pastries
That's
with the
after they
police.
run in the marathon on Saturday, so I think that's,
So we're building those calories back up.
I'd like to also tag on, cupcakes with a cop? Okay, okay, that's next in Councilmember Heredia's district. Okay, on Saturday, this Saturday is Hallelujah Hats at the Mesa Historical Museum. It's a new exhibit opening. They're opening at 10 a.m. and it'll have hats and purses and it's, anyway, all the things that are old and that we used to wear, I don't know. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the work they've done there at the Mesa Historical Museum, which is on North Horn, right?
2345 North Horn.
2345. Really? Okay, that's easy to remember. North Horn. Thank you.
I think there's also a new exhibit opening at the Idea Museum, right?
Yeah, the preview reception is tonight, but that'll be opening tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
And I'm trying,
Yeah.
it's on my calendar.
The Art of the Story, I think, is the latest exhibit that opens tomorrow, you think? So if you haven't been to we all know the Idea Museum, the exhibits switch out, and there's a new one if you take your kids and grandkids and see that new
There's a
exhibit.
preview tonight.
Right. Let me just add on to the marathon. I mean, I think our community it takes a few years to catch on to having a marathon in your city, and it is obviously very disruptive and when it comes to traffic. So this Saturday morning, we just all need to be aware that if you have plans, if you need to go somewhere this Saturday morning, Friday night, you might need to be looking at the best way to accomplish that. And I know our transportation department is very involved in helping people know what the routes are and what alternatives are to traditional routes. So remind me, what's the best way, Carrie, for folks if they want to avoid being frustrated on
We
Saturday
do
morning?
provide one-on-one personalized maps, so if we do have anybody that's traveling on Saturday, let me give you the phone number that they could call, which is 480-644-4882. Staff is standing by for any phone calls, and it might take a little longer to get you where you need to go. However, it's a very convenient service that at least there's less frustration. You know exactly how to get there. So please, please call us. We've been doing a social media blitz all week, and we really do want the phone calls and help wherever we can. So we ask our participants to run and walk as quickly as they can, and we will be following in removing the barricades from east to west. So we appreciate everybody's patience, but please give us a call. We're happy to help in whatever way that we can.
Great. Great, thank you very much, and thanks to all this is a big production, lots of volunteers involved, and rather than be frustrated, walk out to the marathon route and cheer people on, and we'll just decide, hopefully Friday night, if you need to be somewhere, what the best and quickest route is to get around the shutdowns. Okay, council, if there's nothing else, is there a motion to adjourn this meeting? Thank you, Mr. Thompson. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. We are adjourned.